everyone. My name is Maria Ashna. I'm from the Python Software Foundation, and I am the Inaugural PyPI Support Specialist. Welcome to my pep talk. So, a little bit about me. I've grown up all over the world, but currently I live in LA, sunny Los Angeles. So this is a picture from the area of LA that I live in, Venice, California. I love going to museums and artsy-fartsy stuff, so there's a picture of me at the Hammer Museum in LA. Prior to working at PSF, the Python Software Foundation, I was working in brain research, so next to PyPI, I love talking about everything related to neuroscience and the brain. So if you have questions about PyPI and your brain, come up and ask me. I also love music. This is my guitar. I'm a weirdo, so I name my guitars. This guitar's name is Cerulean. I also love going to see plays. This is a picture of the Globe Theatre in London. I really like going to see plays, and just watching other people, human beings, perform live theater is amazing. I'm also a sweet potato fry fiend, so if you're local to Prague and you have recommendations for the best sweet potato fries in the Czech Republic or Prague, let me know. I'd love to check it out before I leave. So, some important stuff first. How to pronounce PyPI. It is PyPI, not PyPI, not PP. Some Americans say PP, and it really makes me upset. So PyPI is the correct way to pronounce it. Moving on to what is PyPI, a brief history. PyPI is, of course, the Python Packaging Index. It is also known as the Cheese Shop. I believe it was named after the Monty Python sketch, hence the name wheel file, cheese wheel. And PyPI was officially born in 2003, and package files were hosted for the first time in 2005. So PyPI has come a long way because currently we are almost close to 1 million users. And we also have around 650,000 projects, and hopefully there will be more packages and projects hosted on PyPI. So when I joined as the inaugural PyPI support specialist, there were a lot of different tasks regarding maintaining PyPI that needed to be done. There were a lot of backlogs that needed to be cleared. And so one of the first backlogs that I tackled was related to account recovery. So what does account recovery entail? Account recovery entails a whole gamut of things. We introduced 2FA, I believe back in 2023, not 2003, 2023, and there are some issues regarding the rollout and acceptance of 2FA, so some of the account recovery backlog was related to that. There were also just your typical account recovery problems like typoed emails or lost 2FA, lost recovery codes. So there's a huge backlog related to that that I needed to tackle. So when I was in San Francisco last year, I saw this really fun ad for some company, and it said, my backlog hurts. And when I saw the backlog for account recovery for PyPI, that's actually how I felt. So when I saw this picture, I thought it was very apropos because it was a massive backlog. How massive? The backlog prior to July 2024 was 5 months behind. However, I am happy to announce that currently the backlog is current with the average triage time of 1.5 days, with the exception of this week because I'm here. So I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of a backlog when I get back, but that's okay. So another thing that I've been working on in addition to the account recovery process, there was a huge lack of documentation and also lack of a defined process regarding account recovery. So these are some diagrams and workflow plot processes that I've been working on. These are part of our internal documents, but a user version of them is coming out because we want to be transparent to our users of how PyPI admins and PyPI support processes backlogs. How do we tackle account recovery issues? So we want our users to know exactly what we're doing, and so these are coming your way, so watch for them. Something exciting that's also coming up is a feature request. I'm working with PyPI admins. One account recovery issue that has been recurring is the typo email loop that I call a typo email loop. Currently, there is no check in process in our backend where if you mistakenly have, fat finger your way into writing gamil.com instead of gmail.com as the domain ending in your email address. You can't, unfortunately, change it back without verifying it, but because it's not a real email address, you can't verify it. Hence the typo email loop. So coming up probably within the next month or so, don't hold me to it, working with PyPI admins to making sure that this feature request is available so that our users have the option to see, if they're typing in their correct or desired email or not. Awesome. So the next backlog that I had to tackle was regarding PEP 541 requests. So I'm going to give a very TLDR short version of what a PEP 541 request is. If you want more info, more deep dive into what a PEP 541 request is, here's a link to that. The PEP, you can read all about it. But the TLDR version is, say, person A has a package or project named Snake. But person A, started Project Snake, had big hopes and dreams for it, but life happened and now nobody is really maintaining Project Snake. So person B comes along and they wanna either maintain Project Snake, take it over on person A, or they wanna replace person A's Project Snake with their own project. However, again, this is a long process, a TLDR version of it is whether person A wants to give up that project or not, it's dependent on the project status and wishes, so the whole process that follows. So pretty much that's what a PEP 541 request entails. So I was quite taken aback when I saw the account recovery backlog, but when I saw the PEP 541 request backlog, this was my exact reaction. There was a huge backlog for PEP 541. Triage time prior to July 2024, it was 1 year and 4 months. Yeah, that's a big backlog behind time. But again, I'm happy to announce that our backlog is current and the triage time average is about a week. And again, with the exception of this week, because I'm here. So what else have I been doing with PEP 541 requests? So similar to account recovery, PEP 541 requests, we have the PEP available, but how those recovery issues were dealt with has not been documented. And many times our users, yes, there's the PEP, but on the maintainer side, there wasn't really any kind of documentation or Q&A or process workflow that would elucidate to our users, how are you solving these requests? How are you exactly triaging them? So one thing that I've also been working on is creating more clear process diagrams and workflows to better be transparent to our users. And a user version of it is, of course, coming out on our GitHub sometime soon. Another thing that is coming up, I'm working with PyPI admins on a feature, a process for something called prohibited names. So in the PEP 541 land, you have your straight requests where, person A has a project and person B wants it. However, in the Venn diagram of it all, there are all these other nebulous requests that come about, and one of them is prohibited names. So what do I mean by that? So prohibited names is, say, a user wants to name their project Snake Rabbit, but for whatever reason, Project Snake Rabbit on our end is deemed a prohibited name. Why? Because somebody probably used name Snake Rabbit as malware, or it's part of a dependency confusion. So prohibited names means anything that has been associated in the past with malware or any reason that can pose a possible security risk. And security is of the utmost concern for us and for our users, and we don't want that. So currently, there really isn't a process in place for how we can, determine which prohibited names to release to users and which prohibited names we still hold on to. So that's something that's upcoming, and I'm working with PyPI admins on getting a process for that, and I'm excited about that because a lot of our users are really attached to certain project names because on their end they might have worked on this project for a long, long time, and for whatever reason from PyPI's side, that name unfortunately has been kind of blacklisted. So we want to make sure there is a standardized and fair and transparent process on how these names can be released. So another thing that I've been working on as the inaugural PyPI support specialist is PyPI orgs. So what is PyPI orgs? So PyPI orgs was first introduced in 2023. It was in a bit of a little hibernation, but now it's back up and running again. So PyPI orgs was introduced with the idea to provide a more granular team and project management for large community and organization-run projects. That way, individuals don't have to, sign up separately, and if one person moved away from the project, other people are not stuck getting ownership or maintainership of the project. So that was sort of the impetus behind the creation of PyPI orgs. And currently our community orgs are free, and our company orgs are signed up with a very small fee. And when I say small fee, I mean very small fee. So right now we have 2,068 community orgs, and we have around 300 company orgs. So something that I'm, again, excited about is I will be doing a community outreach for PyPI orgs because we want our users of PyPI orgs to have some more features in addition to project and role management. So the outreach will be asking you, the community, what do you want to see from PyPI orgs? What kind of features would make PyPI orgs more exciting to you? So those of you who are signed up for PyPI orgs, community or company, watch out for an email from us sometime in the next couple of months or month. Awesome. So now, I said earlier that this is a pep talk, the pep talk part. So as excited as I was to be the inaugural PyPI support specialist, it's not always easy being the first. There might be challenges, there might be obstacles, there might be things that, because you're the first, you're the one who has to do it. So what do you do when you're the first and there are challenges ahead of you and roadblocks ahead of you? I say, let curiosity be your compass. Let curiosity be your compass. Lead with a sense of discovery. Keep asking questions, even when they don't seem welcome, even when the answer is, I don't know. I would like to think that the phrase, I don't know, is actually a beautiful phrase, because that leads to the next beautiful phrase, which is, let's figure it out. Because if you let curiosity be your compass, whether you have days like this, and these are from actual PyPI users, I did not Photoshop them or AI them, or days like this. And believe me, I had a couple of days like that one. Leading with curiosity keeps you in the flow of problem solving. So that concludes my talk. You can connect with me at ThespiBrain on GitHub. You can email me. This is also my website, thetravelingguitar.net. I don't have Blue Sky or Twitter or X because I actually hate a lot of social media. So thank you.
Great, Maria, thank you so much. We now have a lot of time for the Q&A. And if you have any questions, please feel free to come up to the microphone. And I would also love to start the Q&A myself to ask you one question, since you mentioned that you worked on brain research, and I am a starting bioinformatician also doing my internship on brain research.
Awesome.
I wanted to ask you out of curiosity, what did you work on and how did you connect it with PyPI?
PyPI.
PyPI, I'm sorry.
PyPI.
I am so sorry.
Oh, we're first case, that's okay. That's a really great question that you asked me. I had, I have a background in tech and both neuroscience research, so I actually came into contact with Python first, working in neuroscience labs, and my area of research was creativity of neuroscience. Regarding PyPI, I actually, just out of curiosity, learned about PyPI. So I wasn't involved with PyPI before, but I just, you know, kind of fell into it, if that makes sense.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will remember PyPI forever now. Here you go. You can ask your question now. Thank you. Can you come closer to the mic,
I can't
please?
hear you.
Sorry. Thanks for the talk and all the work that you are doing, because I passed some of the processes myself and it was painful.
Okay.
I have one feature that I really miss in the PyPI, and it's the user namespaces for the packages.
Okay.
Do you have any news about that?
At the moment, I don't. However, are you part of an org? Are you part of PyPI orgs, your community?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. Reach out to me, and I don't have any. That's a very, I don't want to say controversial topic, but I think people are very opinionated about that. And at the moment, I am more neutral, but that's why I'm doing a lot of outreach, and I want to ask our users, you know, get the temperature on the need for that. So that is the news you have. I mean, that's not really, I guess, a direct answer to your question. Like, yes, I have news. No, I don't have any news, because the subject of namespaces isn't, sadly, as black and white. Or maybe not sadly. It's not black and white. So there's a lot of gray area that I'm still dealing with. So that answers your question.
Thanks.
Great, thank you for your question. Does anyone thought of any more questions? Oh.
So the other support requests I've seen, which you didn't mention, was the people that are saying, like, I accidentally used 400 gigabytes, can I have, or, you know,
The file limit stuff, okay. What is your question?
I guess the question is, this seems to be something where, I guess, people, you push back on it a bit, but ultimately there's got to be a technical solution for it. You know, like, some people are just going to need storage off PyPI or something like that. Do you know where this is going for these people that want to host really, really huge things?
Yeah, I think that probably will tie in better to PyPI orgs, because if you have, again, a larger community or a larger organization, and of course, all the resources that we use to run PyPI, it's through the generous support of a lot of sponsors and donations. So I think barring certain project or file limit caps, I think, and again, this is just me thinking out loud, nothing is concrete, it's just me thinking out loud to your question. For specific really, really large projects, like your orgs or maybe NVIDIA's, you know, I think being with PyPI orgs might be beneficial, because at that point, and again, this is just me thinking out loud, nothing is official, for folks who can help us help get, you know, bigger resources to host, you know, those kind of packages beyond what we already do, might be a possible solution. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
Hello,
Hi.
generic question, maybe not so much about PyPI, maybe it's more about the packaging ecosystem as a whole. But I was wondering, is there some reason why it's not disallowed for packages to have different names for pip install, you know, the package name, and then for import? Like, for example, you have a PyYAML library, which you install using pip install PyYAML, but then you import YAML, not PyYAML. And there are actually many libraries like that. And I must say, I got confused and I made a mistake more than once when I was doing pip install and then import, and it's using inconsistent different names. And I always thought that it would be nice if these two were kind of enforced to be the same. Is there some reason why it's not the case?
I do not know why that is, and I think that's something probably to bring up to the packaging work group, because I think what you're asking, a lot of those decisions have been made way before I entered into the picture. But you got me curious, so I will find out.
That would be awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I have just a quick question related also to like the list of packages that are not allowed.
The prohibited names?
Exactly,
Okay,
the prohibited names. I have something similar. We released a package, and we just added Python dash in front of it, and then we wanted to rename it. But we're not able to do it because there is another package now that has a similar name. And is this also something that is being handled with a PEP 541 request, or is there
Yes,
another
but
approach?
that is also, there's a lot of granularity in what you just asked. So there's another account, PEP 541 request that I've been working on, which is similar names. But come talk to me on the side. But to answer your general question, similar names, yeah, if we have our backend, it's kind of more sensitive to ultra-normalized names, but many times I think it also blocks names if somebody already has that name. That can also, you know, give you the message like it already exists, because a package with that name does exist. It's a legit reason. Other times it's more of a, you know, it's called Py class as opposed to Py class C. You know, it would stop you from that. So depending on the context of that, you know, we release the name or we say, hey, it's really similar. We don't want any kind of confusion happening. But talk to me after for your issue.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, just a note on packages that don't match their name or the two names not matching. I'm a maintainer of the Pillow project, and I'd say the reason that this all happens, or at least in our case, was legacy. Pillow got forked off of Pill, and it has been a confusing issue for a lot of our users that they pip install Pillow and then it's from Pill import image. On the other hand, when it was originally done, it was essentially a packaging of the Pill library. So the Pill library had a long-standing space on PyPI.
PyPI. PyPI.
Sorry, I got
I
it.
will come find you if you don't pronounce it correctly.
But just recently we went through the 541 so that now the, I guess now 15-year-old version of Pill that was up there is no longer something that people can download and install anymore.
Yeah, thanks for the history. I think there, you know, again, those decisions, whatever reason the decisions were made, were way before I entered the picture. I mean, so, but I'm curious, so I will definitely, I'm curious to know why that is as well.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any more questions about PyPI and Maria's work? If not, then once again, thank you so much, Maria, for the great prep talk.